Right, I don't even know where we start with this. Oh, hang on. There we go. Right, we're back. We're in. Guys, hello. I know it's stressful. Firstly, I just want to say a massive thank you. One, for putting up with whatever the hell we just witnessed. Like, I still can't get over that. I'm pretty sure you can't either. That's why you're here. But two, it's 12 a.m. in America. It's 5 a.m. here. Thank you for just taking some time out to discuss this post-game with us. We know it's a little bit wild. Thomas isn't here today. He's sleeping. I think it's 6 a.m. in Denmark. So he's, copped off a bit early. I think the game was more than stressful enough. But where do we even start with this game? It is just an absolute train wreck from start to finish. And honestly, the second I knew this game was kind of doomed was the minute Goddard fumbled. Like, the second they were starting fast, it was the first time in 25 games the Eagles had come out of the gate and actually got the coin toss and went, do you know what, we'll have the ball first. 25 times in a row, they've deferred. This was the first time that changed dramatically. They went out on offense, they wanted to start fast, they built a rhythm and Goddard fumbles. And just like that, the carpet was ripped from under them. Shout out to Jay Willie first. So the song's actually not a rip-off, it was a B-side and they weren't allowed to release it because of that reason. So because of like a Stevie Wonder thing, the song's by Oasis. Yeah, check it out, good song. Hey to John Montoya, to Guy Man, bro dude. Oh dude, don't do that. We've got film rooms to get through. We've got This Week in Philadelphia Sports, which will be the most sarcastic, sassy episode to date. So stick around to that one. Don't go anywhere. That's going to be a mess, to say the least. If you are new around here, guys, if you're not yet subscribed, do me a favour. Just hit that red button below. Leave a like on this stream and just drop your thoughts. Like, this is basically one big, like almost like Alcoholics Anonymous, but Eagles Fans Anonymous. Just to kind of come in and get our frustrations out on this game. I think all the language being used is absolutely right. Joel's saying it's completely disgusting. Young Aku says he's disgusted to be an Eagles fan tonight. I mean, I think it was embarrassing. My point is, I don't know when the questions need to be asked, because we're now hitting a point where people are looking at the move this last week, all right? So the Jalen Ramsey thing, the fact that Howie didn't go out and get Jalen Ramsey is now, well, it's on Howie Roseman. And I think I've said this since day one, that Jalen Ramsey would not magically fix this defense. There's so much more wrong than just Jalen Ramsey. I mean, they can't even do basic arithmetic. You've got players on and off the field. No one knows how many people are even meant to be on the field at times. It's a nightmare. There is so much more wrong that Jalen Ramsey just wouldn't be able to fix. And unfortunately, that's the bottom line with that bit. But then it comes, well, if you send the draft picks, the Eagles can't develop talent, blah, blah, blah. Is it that the Eagles can't draft, or is it that they can't develop talent? And that's a very different thing. But the one thing that is grating on me after this game, more than anything else, forget the turnovers, forget the penalties, forget the fumbles, forget the play calls, forget the basic fundamentals of football, like, having 11 guys on a field. The one thing that honestly stands out to me is the fact that at the start of this week, the Eagles made a point in releasing Zach Brown. Someone who last year had a run defense grade of 85. He's been like PFF's best run defender in the last 2 years. They released him. He was tied third in team tackles. And Nigel Bradham was down. They knew that. They knew Nigel Bradham was out with injury. He wasn't going to play this week. So they were down to Nate Jerry, to Camu Grugier-Hill, to TJ Edwards and Alex Singleton. Okay? Now, if you go into that game and you cut Zach Brown knowing that's the situation, and you don't go out and acquire someone, you don't go out and bring in a new linebacker, whether it's free agent, trade, whoever, it's either A, vote of confidence in, hey, we've got who we've got, or B, something's going wrong. Because you go into this game where the Eagles' run defense has been one of the best in the league. I think it's second ranked coming into this matchup. They've allowed next to nothing all year long. They kept Dalvin Cook to 2.5 yards a carry. They kept Le'Veon Bell to basically nothing. Darius Geis to basically nothing. Ezekiel Elliott, the second Zach Brown's gone, the second Bradham's down, 111 yards on the ground, 5 yards per carry. That was not the Eagles' run defense that we know, and the reason is they're still stacking the box with 8 people. The linebackers aren't cleaning up. Because there are no linebackers there, because you've cut one of them and the other one's injured and you've made no relevant move. That, to me, is a bigger problem. First of all, a massive shout out to Jay Willie. You didn't need to donate. You don't need to do that at all. That's extremely kind of you. And, little gestures like that mean the absolute world to me. Thank you so much. That's touched my heart. In a night of frustration and absolute annoyance and anger, that has made it a little bit better. So thank you so much, Jay Willie. That's incredibly kind of you. Emmanuel Anderson says, I was embarrassed going to the game. Young Aku says, Grow has to go. We need a culture change as well. I heard a rumour that Philly tried to trade Nelly. Yeah, I mean, do you know what? The Nelly to Pat Peterson trade rumour, I don't want to shout it down because I don't know, like it's got weight to it. I mean, I try not to get myself involved in these discussions anymore because I don't like it. I didn't like being like, I went through a phase of like trying to seek information and being an insider, and I didn't really like it. And then essentially, so Ben, the writer of that, who I've spoken with on a couple of occasions, stand-up guy, I know he's like an actor, he's got a million things going on, but he hasn't frequently been contributing for BGN. So he's not like a regular writer. Then he suddenly gets Cardinals information, which is, okay, fair, do you know what? He could know someone, absolutely. But why would the Cardinals go to a Philly outlet or a Philly reporter over an Arizona? And for me, they're trying to drum up price. That's all it is. They didn't want to sell Patrick Peterson. It's his first game back from suspension. They get him into a spot now where he's playing good. It's like, let's just set the tone. Let's put out a report just to... And teams do that. They use media, reporters, relationships. That's their little kind of... If you're at a school disco and your friend's really fit and you want to ask her out, you get your other friend to do it because you're too shy. That's what media is, essentially. I've had it like back with the Vinny Curry extension. Someone told me that Baltimore came in with an offer. Then the Eagles 2 days later come in, give him a massive payday. I think it's that. I think it's Arizona trying to get a little bit out there. But given that Nelly has had his name mentioned in it, that could have played on his mind. I mean, I don't think he pulled away from that catch. I think the ball... It's hard to say the ball was overthrown because we've only seen one angle. I really want to see the all 22 to say, hey, is this or is it not overthrown? Was it Nelly giving up and pulling his arms in? Or was he just thinking, no, that's gone, no chance? Like, either way, you'd like to see him go out and at least try. Even if the ball was out of reach, you want to see him finish the play. You play to the whistle. I don't even play football, and I know you play to the whistle. That's basic fundamentals. So even if the ball was overthrown, even if the ball was a million miles away, you don't want to see him just go, nah, and fling his arm. Nah, you go out and you do something. Let's have a look what the rest of you guys are saying. I want to try and get to as many of you as possible. That was a desperate move. He isn't worth it. Yeah, I mean, bearing in mind Peterson's now on his contract year. He's 29 years old. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, the thing is, Gary Cobb out an article saying that he's guaranteeing the Eagles are trading for Chris Harris. He can play inside and outside, I get it, but the Broncos are now 3-3. I don't think they're going to want to give up on him. I don't think they're going to happen just yet. Isaac, and I know Isaac was waiting for this stream earlier, so a big shout to you for tuning in, my man. Thank you so much. It's really cool to see you in here. I thought we'd get someone. If we cut Doug, I'm becoming a bandwagon fan. No, don't be doing that. Because then there's no 49ers Sports Network, right? There's no SFSN? You can't have LJ there. He can't track that deep. Look at the Philly high. Okay, cool. I don't think we'll get any trade value for Nelson. What's Wentz going to do? No, yeah, and do you know what? There are a couple plays with Carson Wentz today that the whole team just didn't seem asked. Like, for lack of a better term, they really couldn't be bothered. There was that one play, the huge play to Alshon Jeffrey, that looked like it was going to get flagged. I thought something had happened. Right, everyone just stopped running. I thought that was play dead. Lane Johnson gets out of his stance and just stands there, and Wentz lobs a dime down to Alshon Jeffrey. No one else moves. No one else moves. Very, very weird. There's a few plays like that where the offensive line just didn't seem to do anything. Andre Dillard got picked on a lot. Lane Johnson got picked on by DeMarcus Lawrence, which in the grand scheme of things, knowing he went, I think it was 9 games against the Eagles without a sack, it hurt. You've then got Matt Collins doing absolutely nothing. Right? Absolutely, I don't know what Matt Collins does other than wave his arms about occasionally. I really don't. I don't know why he's getting reps over Arcega-Whiteside. The only way, honestly, that I would give looking back, I know a lot of this discussion is about Patrick Peterson and that sort of thing, is that if the Eagles do wanted to go and get Patrick Peterson, the one thing they could do is they worked out a lot of big slot receivers pre-draft, like a lot of can't even talk. Sorry, it's 5 a.m. You got to forgive me. A lot of big slot receivers pre-draft. We're talking, I think Jalen Hurd was one of them, like 6'5", 6'6" guys. It wouldn't surprise me if they just shipped Nelson Aguilar before the deadline and moved Arcega-Whiteside into the slot. We're coming off a week where Mike Gross said that he's cross-training 3 positions, which sounds barbaric given that he can't even get 1 down. But if they can get him into that 3rd role, by the time Jackson comes back, you're not worried about a $9 million cap hit anymore. You've just got Alshon Jeffrey, who's guaranteed. Arcega-Whiteside is a big slot, and Deshaun Jackson outside. He'd fill that Jordan Matthews type of big slot role, and I think That's the only logic I can find behind it, if I'm brutally honest about this whole thing. But again, let me know, guys, and thank you to... Oh, you just got a subscription then, I can't tell you who that was. Farmal King, thank you for subscribing. If you are new again, guys, hit that red button. We have daily uploads, phillysportsnetwork.com. I write articles like every single day. Lane was bad. Yeah, Lane was out of character tonight. I really don't know what was going on there. Dillard did good against it. Yeah, I mean, you can't expect too much out of Andre Dillard. You really, really can't expect too much out of Andre Dillard at this point. You know, it's his first game. He just come off a game against Everson Griffin, for crying out loud. Like, you're not going to expect him to come in and be this beastly offensive lineman straight away. It's going to take time. But, I mean, yeah, do you know what? Young Aki, fair point. The only bright spot today was Mills. Yes, he allowed a little touchdown. But, my God, when did he learn to leap like a salmon? Where did that come from? Mills has never been a ball hawk in his life. And out of nowhere, he's just flying around up in the air. Outside of that, the only positive I can find was the fact that we had the little... I mean, if you follow us on Twitter, which is down that side, we had the little sliding soccer video whenever something happened. That was the best bit of the night. We got really ironic with it, where it'd be like the Eagles didn't allow an interception, or the Eagles didn't allow points on that drive. We just put the video out. It was brilliant. Tony H, thank you so much for your kind words, man. Honestly, that's so kind of you. We decided to grind. We love bringing you guys content. You're the best fan base on the planet. And we wanted to reward you with as much Eagle stuff as we can get. Justin says, we're only one spot behind the division. We should be okay. Good point. But I want to counter it with, if I come to you now and I say that the next game is against Buffalo, who are now 5-1, that defense is not going to allow the Eagles to start fast. I mean, Josh Allen, fair point. The Eagles should be able to contain him. But 5-1, that's tough. Right? That is a tough defense. They're very good. You've got Micah Hyde doing Micah Hyde things. Poyer's doing Poyer things. It's a good defense, all right? Chicago, again, it's going to be the pressure on offense. Because right now, Mitch Trubisky isn't doing anything. Tariq Cohen isn't doing anything. Taylor Gabriel isn't doing anything. But defensively, they're sound. Chicago 3-3. That's going to be a must-win for them. Then, if they can get to a bye, getting a win out of either of those two games, it's got to be considered a positive at this point. Then you've got week 11 against the Patriots, who are 6-0. That's going to go well. And week 12 against Seattle, who just dropped a game and are going to be fuming about it. They're going to be red hot going into these next few weeks. So that's tough sledding. Again, I mean, once you get past week 12, you're fine. You've then just got Redskins once, Giants twice, Cowboys once. That's the end of the schedule. But outside of that, don't have a clue. Don't have a clue. It's going to be a very, very interesting run into the end of the season. Tito says, I'm worried about Carson. I wouldn't be worried about Carson. The thing that I think genuinely got to me tonight was that he looked off in a way. And not in terms of a throwing way. His balls were on the money. That's not dirty. All right, this isn't This Week in Philadelphia Sports yet. That's tomorrow. But that was a Twips level joke. But he just looked off. And do you know what? If I had an anonymous teammate and you not knowing who it is coming out and clowning you and giving you abuse and all this stuff, I'd be the same. I'd be a bit off and unsettled. Like, is it one of my linemen? Are they going to let me get a hit? Like, there was speculation, I think it was on Undisputed, saying that it's one of the linemen said he's got to get it out quicker so you don't have to protect him for longer. It could have been any of those things. And Wentz is going to be unsettled. His pass catchers aren't doing their whole job title, which is catching passes. And I don't know what you can honestly say about the rest of the team. Like, the offense was just dire. Zach Ertz invisible for 2.5 quarters. Isaac says, can we get an adapt ye scheme in the chat? Yes, we can. Adapt ye scheme, Jim Schwartz. I've had enough. I mean, Jim of Schwartzington is going to come under the firing line. I'll be incandescent with rage, to say the least, again, in tomorrow's episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports. David Mayberry makes a good point. Guys can't get open, can't catch. If they do, they fumble. They're not blocking. There's not much more he can do other than just run it and then go and play special teams. I mean, the only constants on this team have been Cameron Johnston and Jake Elliott. Outside of that, don't know what you can say. But we get into a point, and I didn't want to say this because, you know, I mean, if you've been around this channel or my website for a while, you'll know that I put the article out on Monday last week saying there's pressure building on Jim Schwartz. And there isn't, you know, there's no sources saying, oh, there's pressure, he's on the hot seat. But pressure from within and from outside to change his scheme, to make an adjustment, to do something that isn't going to give teams 300 passing yards a game, right? We now get to this Dallas game and I was like, look, if nothing changes, that pressure will mount. and it's only going to snowball, and then it's all go from pressure on changing a scheme to pressure on, oh God, his job's on the line. And it is very, very weird, isn't it? And I don't think I'll be alone in saying that by the end of the year, if the Eagles moved on from Jim Schwartz, it wouldn't be the end of the world. In fact, I think it'd be something quite wanted by a lot of people. Mike Groh has to go. I don't know about that. I mean, purely because of the word microwave. I mean, you can't have that with any offensive coordinator. What if he goes out, calls a great game, and you go, oh, the microwave? No, I'm kidding. Genuinely. I mean, the one thing I genuinely... It's awful with Mike Groh because as a wide receiver coach, he was so good and he was so talented and I think coveted almost to come into this role, and it was such a big get for this team to begin with. And I think he's just worked up the ladder too quick, and you can obviously see the patterns of starting strong in 2017 and then dipping down after Frank Reich went to what we saw last year and even this year where it's bottom of the league. I don't know how you fix it though. Like, is it, we don't know how much Mike Groh does. Is it Mike Groh doing the initial script for the first 5-10 plays? Is that on Peterson? Is he doing the run game because Juice Staley helps coordinate the run game? Is that on Peterson? Like, we honestly don't know any of this. And it's really hard to speculate. But if we could, I don't know, switch places or find a way to move things around a bit or take some responsibility off. And I don't know. Let's have a look what you guys are saying now. I want to get as many of your opinions out. There are 72 of you in this chat. 78 of you now. Get your comments in, alright? Let's have a discussion. I'll be here for about another 40 minutes, I say, until my brain goes to complete mush and I need to go to sleep. But yeah, let's just have a discussion. Let's see what you guys are saying. Big Bleach says any 4 people in this stream can cover better than Avonte, Sydney, Rasul and Darby. 2 of them, yeah. I mean, I think Avonte and Rasul, I should see, you can see it's happening already. But Avonte and Rasul would be exact. I mean, even Jalen Mills was okay. Like, it wasn't the end of the world. Rasul got a bit... To be fair, there was that one play where I've never seen Douglas bite on a move. Like, he's not a guy that comes down and bites on double moves. That one against Amari Cooper, where he went flying across the field, that's where the whole soccer sliding video started on our Twitter page. Again, if you're not following, make sure you're following along. We have content every day. But yeah, I was shocked. As someone that has been standing Rasul Douglas since he was drafted, whether it's a move to safety or getting more playing time or as a starter. And hey, do you know what? I went on Twitter earlier this week and I was like, if I'm Rasul Douglas and someone comes into, Jalen Mills comes back from injury and takes his starting role, I'd be enraged after the last 3 years the same thing's happened. I'd want out, I'd want to trade, get me to Denver, give him Chris Harris, screw it, I'm gone. That's what I'd be. After this game, he didn't really make it an argument to solidify that and say, hey, here's why I should still have a starting role when Darby gets back. So, I don't know. That one kind of took a fall. There's someone who didn't follow me, found that tweet from Tuesday, decided to message me. So, fair play to the hustle on his part. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Eugene D. Leon Jr., thank you for subscribing, man. That means a lot. Also, Nick Ramirez. I'm not sure if I thanked you before, but I'm thanking you now if you're still here. Isaac says, why do we even have an offensive coordinator? Do you know what? It's a Cravon way. Yeah, I miss Captain Cravon. I mean, I'm still missing because him and his mum follow me on Twitter, so he sees all of the Captain Cravon movements. It's heartbreaking. I mean, to be fair, that annoyed me though. I mean, just to touch on Andre's point about Jordan Howard starting every game. Yeah, because Miles Sanders has just no awareness or patience or vision. He just sort of runs, and if it happens, it happens, and if not, he'll fall over. That seems to... It's Wendell Smallwood-itis is what I would put Miles Sanders down to. Through the air, excellent. He's only got to run in a straight line and catch a ball. As a running back, where you're looking patience, holds, vision, a little bit harder. Seemingly, I think, out of depth right now. We knew this could be an issue coming in. The problem is, though, when you're 3rd and 8, and you're inside your own 20, and you're running the ball, and it's the start of the game when you're down 2 possessions, that's not good. I'm not a fan of that. I don't know what that play call was. There are a few like it. Peterson was insistent on running the ball in a game where the Eagles played behind for most of it. That I don't get. I understand establishing the run, and hey, if it works for you, brilliant. The fact is, it really, really wasn't. And I don't get that at all. JJ says, I think there's some locker room issues going on. Yeah, and I touched on this in a video on Friday. I mean, on my podcast on Friday that I made into a video because we're all about that double content. If you've not seen it, I'll briefly go over it. If you have seen it, I'll try and keep it short because I don't want to bore you. I know you're already sleepy. But, if we go back and recap the last 7 days, all right, let's say this is a full week cycle, Monday to Monday, all right? Sunday after the game, or Sunday during the game, Malcolm Jenkins rants at Sidney Jones on the sideline. Jones looks upset. After the game, Malcolm Jenkins taking indirect shots at Sidney Jones. Great. Monday morning, Zach Brown is cut from the team. Nigel Bradham is injured. The team have no linebackers, essentially. The next day, Doug Peterson... It's a 12 days of Christmas. It's a 12 days of Christmas, this song. Doug Peterson goes out and tells WIP that he guarantees we're going to go into Dallas, get a win, control our division, and take control of it. Fine, okay, good. Then you've got Jalen Ramsey didn't happen. Then you've got the next day where they call up Alex Singleton, but you've got an anonymous source coming out and talking about the team. I can't remember a time where there was this much noise around the Eagles. And I made a point in 2017 where Doug Peterson's main strength has been galvanising this locker room. 2016, in the offseason, you had Sam Bradford holding out because he was upset they drafted Carson Wentz. Fletcher Cox holding out, Darren Sproles holding out, the strip club thing, there was a woman thing with Nelson Aguilar, you had, what was the other one? There was a big one I'm forgetting here. Oh, Nigel Bradham's umbrella. Do you remember that? Nigel Bradham got in a fight over an umbrella. That was a thing. Since then, radio, nothing. Absolutely nothing. This team has been sound, buttoned up, new. It's like the Patriots, just nothing goes wrong, buttoned up, mwah, perfect. Alright? This year, it's like Pittsburgh Steelers Central. You've got a day after you cut a linebacker for piping up and giving a bit of trash talk, you go on a radio show and guarantee a win after you get humiliated. I don't get that. I mean, I'm not being saying a case. It's a case of having your cake and eating it too. You can't just chat that and then not expect to get slapped a little bit. That bedazzles me. There is something fundamentally wrong with that. There is something in-house where you've got players piping up, anonymous sources piping up, coaches going on radio, players being cut. There's so much noise going into this game. A rivalry game where both teams are 3-3 and you have to secure the division. It's not enough. It's not good enough at all by anyone. And if I'm Wentz, I'm upset and I'm annoyed. If I'm a receiver, I don't know. It's really hard, but Roman says Tyler Dubb being sarcastic and joking when asking. Do you know what's really weird? Just to say on that one, Roman. So, cause Philly Sports Network's we have a relationship with the Eagles. We get all the transcripts from their press conferences, right? So since 2016, I've had press conferences, all through. And in 2016, Peterson was so detailed with his answers, was so not soft, but open. And you could ask him something and you get a genuine answer. Whereas now he has developed that harder skin, that colder shell, that almost annoyance because he knows what the questions are going to be. It's going to be about injuries, why aren't you doing this, why aren't you doing that, and what's the status of this guy. And he's tired of it. And it's annoying for me being a million miles away because I kind of would like to be in the locker room or in the press conference room asking those questions and hoping to bring a little bit more insight than how's Deshaun Jackson feeling today? He's day today. Yeah, it has been for a month. Stop asking about it. Just move on. Little things like that, but that's something separate completely. What else have we got? What are you guys saying? I think I've gone on a massive rant now and I'm really sorry if I've overset. Andre says I'm all over it. Thank you. Locker room issues are coming from our anger at being 3-3. That's fair, but is it not on then the coach to come in and galvanise that? Something that Peterson has done before. Look at 2017. Look at 2016 with Wentz as a rookie when those one possession games were being dropped and dropped and dropped. Like the New York Giants one. You had a game in overtime. Wentz has dropped stuff against the Cowboys before. It's bizarre. There's been so much that's gone on with this team that Peterson's endured and he's got them through it. Injuries in 2017, Wentz's rookie season, the Super Bowl hangover. This feels so Seattle Seahawks to me. So Seattle Seahawks. Win a Super Bowl, they got to a next one, the Eagles had their little playoff run, and you know what? Somehow they avoided a hangover, both teams did, and now it's beginning to fade away, and the pieces are starting to fizzle, and players aren't happy, because that line, where everything else becomes acceptable, it's like when all things are smelling of roses. It's easy to be happy with the situation. I mean, we had a situation here at PSM. I'm not going to get too much into it. When everything's smelling of roses, everyone's happy. Everyone's great. I've got 10, 15 articles coming out a day. It's brilliant. Something goes wrong, all of a sudden, you're going to see a bit of friction, a bit of backlash, and a bit of upset and unrest. And it's on you as a manager, as a coach, or whatever I am in this role, to fix that, right? And that's the fun part. That's the challenge of what I do. It's amazing. I thrive in that. I love it. But You're not seeing that from Peterson. You're not seeing someone that's going out and getting those guys. The one thing that stood out, right, that I genuinely thought was nice, was straight after the Goddard drop, Zach Ertz went up to him, picked him up, tapped him on the head, and was like, "You're good." And it's like, something subtle like that, something so small, didn't disband, didn't go away, didn't let it go, just went over and comforted his teammate. I was like, fair play. That energy dissipated about a minute after. Didn't see it again. Every error, teams are going away. I mean, there's a screenshot I used. I wonder if I can pull it up on here. This is going to look dreadful, like it's not smooth at all, but please bear with me, because I used an image for my post-game recap that I just put out a minute ago. And I want to share this because it looks really telling. Okay, so that's the image. And I feel like I'm in a class, but I just want you to look at that for a second. Just take that in. We've had a week of check down talk, an anonymous source coming out, and all of this stuff. Is that not like a horrible image to look at? It's horrible. I don't have to get rid of it. I can't. How do I delete this? Guys, we've got a problem. There we go. There we go. I couldn't delete the image. I'm really sorry. It's just bizarre. It's really bizarre. Wait, I haven't said hello to you yet, man. I'm really sorry. I know you're here in every single stream, so thank you for your support. Will Schwartz make changes? No, probably not, because it's Jim Schwartz, isn't it? Chris Long would be a nice addition to our pass rush, says Philly Fly Guy. Thank you to you for tuning in. I think he would, but it's not something they're gonna... I think Chris Long's been longed out in a way. Like, sorry, I've got no drink here. You know, like, he went through the off-season and the team... He basically told the team to plan as if he won't be there. They went out. They got some big names. Brought back Vinny Curry. Then they go and, you know, like, acquire a couple other things. It's just like... It's one of those areas where they just moved on. And Chris Long was there for a while. He was waiting for a while. And wasn't there. They just moved on without him. And he was like, all right, cool. I think he was upset about it. There's a part of... You know, if you do that for so long, you're going to want to play, aren't you? That's the nature of the job, I suppose. But, yeah, one of those things. It's a shame. I think Chris Long would be good. And he said he wanted to do one more year, but just couldn't work it out with the Eagles. I didn't realise we had 18 likes on this video. That's amazing. It blows my mind that we've got like 87 of you here. Guys, if we could get to 25 likes on this video, that would be amazing. So, yeah, I mean, huge thank you. Again, if you are new around here, please hit that subscribe button. That would be amazing. Gustavo, are there any good corners in the upcoming draft? I don't know, and the reason is I try not to watch a lot of college football while the regular season's on, because I feel like as an Eagles writer and podcaster, video man person, I want to do all Eagles. And if I focus elsewhere, I'm missing a chance to give you content about like right now, if I want to look to draft cornerbacks, it's not going to bode well, you know? Like, I'd rather go through a flurry of watching tape and being on that grind and finding college film in like February time, like just after the Super Bowl. Watching the Senior Bowl, I love that. It's my favourite time of year. It's like a whole season in itself for me. I know there are some people like Ben Solak, for instance, who has a job with the Draft Network, works for BGN, and that falls into his day. I just don't have the time to kind of go through prospects and run the ship on this point just yet. But it's coming. I mean, cornerbacks, I like to say, are my specialty. It's a position I'm most passionate about, so we'll see. Jay Wade, I love you, PSN, and I love you, Jay. I mean, thanks for your support, man. That's incredibly kind of you. Comments like that make me want to cry, and I'm already emotional after this game, so we're going to try and keep this up to a minimum here. Roman says it's time for Doug to show some urgency and emotion. This loss is on him. This constant light mood shows the team's lack of effort and preparation. Yeah, I don't know how far I'd agree with that, but I think it's definitely on the coaching staff. Absolutely. I mean, when you've got players going out there looking like they're half-arsed, this has happened for a while. You've got teams who are, you know, going... like the last 2 weeks, you've had formations coming on where you don't have enough players on the field, right? You just don't have enough players on the field whatsoever. They have 10, 12, any other numbers they want to hear. You've got a bingo card at this point. It's disgraceful. You've got penalties, fumbles, turnovers. It's a lack of discipline. It's a lack of focus. It's a lack of passion, I'd argue. I mean, Zach Brown against the Vikings, I know we just sort of defended him for a minute, but he looked awful, and he was slowing down and like half arm barring tackles, and just going like, oh, okay, like there's something wrong with this team, and I think the clash of personalities you're getting is the frustration of those who are going out and giving 100% every game, and they are busting their ass with every opportunity, and then there are others where they're just not, and that's not happening. So it is really weird. It's really, really weird. Like, I think there's definitely, I wouldn't say a culture problem, but there's something where the Eagles have to address it head on and go, look, this ain't right. Something's not on. Guys, if you give me a couple seconds, I'm going to take a quick 15-second break just while I try and get myself a drink because I'm going to blow up otherwise. Consider it a toilet break. You've been around for the preseason. I'll be right back with you. I don't know how this is working or not. Hold on. Give me. I can't. Do you know what? Forget the drink. Forget it. I was gonna try and go to a cut screen. I can't go to the cut screen. So we're gonna stay. I'm not gonna ditch you guys. We're not doing it. All right. We're staying here. There's a scary team developing where they play Foles, but I don't know about that. I think the offense was so simple last year. I mean, the one thing you can say is if they simplify the offense for Nick Foles, right? Why can't they do it for Carson Wentz? I understand that point. I'm going to try to go through Twitter now and see if there's any other mentions that I have missed or anyone. Nothing to. XFL for Aguilar. I don't know. There's so much to be angry and upset about. I mean, I'm trying to find good points, and the only one I can find is Hassan Ridgway, who got injured. So the one player that we could sit here and be like, do you know what? This guy played really well today, like really good, really strong, isn't even. He's injured, so he walked off. A lack of... I don't know what it is. Like, there's something about this season now that looking back does... I mean, holy hell, just refresh the stream on 39 likes. I said 25. Do you know what? All right, if we get to 100 likes on this stream, I'll give away a PSN hoodie. All right? There's 85 of you. I'm sure most of you are new. All right? If we get to 100 likes on this stream, I'll give away a hoodie. I promise you. We'll get it shipped out as soon as we can. Should be in the next week or so. But Brandon says, think about Liam. The rumours are becoming a little more consistent. Carson needs a true number one receiver. I think Alshon is a true number one receiver. There just seems to be, I don't know what it is, whether it's he can't get open. I don't know. Without seeing the tape, I don't want to sit here and speculate and say there's no effort or he's making drops or he's not catching catchable passes. Because I think Alshon is a number one receiver. It's just come in flurries. And like this whole offense, I mean, this whole Eagles offense... to me, is very much like Golden State, where if Kevin Durant can't go, well, good job, you had Steph Curry. If Steph couldn't go, you had Klay Thompson. If Klay, you got Dre. Like, you had a whole arsenal of weapons in 2017. They've tried to continue that, but the difference is, and I've said this for years, well, I say years, like it's some eternity, it's really not, for at least like the last year or two, where this team isn't built to be 14 points down early on. It's just not. If the Eagles get out to a 7-point lead, right? 7-point lead. The other team is having to throw from behind. That means you can play your corners off because another team has to gain more leverage, they have to gain more yard, and you can stand there, embrace that route and come down on it. That's where Jim Schwartz's scheme is at its best. Because the other team has to throw from behind, which means the ball's in their hands longer, which means the pass rush gets home, and the corners who are 10 yards off can do their thing, right? If you go out on offense and you fumble and the Cowboys score, and then the Cowboys score again, you are not putting yourself in a position to win because the defense can't hold it, and the offense is then on the back foot, and we all know that the line's not playing well, the receiver depth isn't there, and, I mean, right, we're to 40, I'm just trying to monitor these likes as well, we're on 47 now. If we get to 100, there's a hoodie giveaway, I promise, alright? We're almost there, so keep liking, keep subscribing if you're new. I think we could all use a bit of a pick-me-up at this point. There aren't any good corners in this draft that will be available when we pick. We don't know when we're going to pick. I mean, at this point, when do you think the Eagles would pick? Are we talking, like, straight away picks top 10, top 15? Are we going bottom 20? I don't think the Eagles get a bottom 10 pick. I really don't. At this point, if they make the playoffs, I'd be stunned because they have to get through. Let me just get it on screen as well. I hope I don't get done for this copyright-wise because it's not my image. So let me just find it. I'm trying to put something up. It's what I read from a moment ago. Is it this one? I think it's this one. All right, so let me just put this up just for a second, okay? This is the Eagles' schedule between now and when they start having those divisional games, okay? So week 13 onwards is 1 game against the Redskins, it should be a win. 2 against the Giants, you might choke 1 because it's the Giants and they always play them close, but theoretically it's a win. and won against the Cowboys. They haven't won in 2 years. The Cowboys are 4-0 in the last 2 years, but you'd like to think they could get away with a win, all right? If they win those four, let's pull this down. Hello. The Eagles would be 7-4. No, 4, 5. Yeah, 7-4. All right. How many of these games with 7 wins are they winning? Honest question. Put your answer in the chat, okay? How many? Mike O, thank you for subscribing. How many of those games do you win? What's the final record? Is it 8? 8-8? No, it's not. I don't see a 9-7. The only way I see a 9-7 is if they beat Chicago and Buffalo. They're not beating New England. I don't think they're beating Seattle. I really can't see that. Right? So, Trubisky and Allen, as Carlos Turner says. I really don't like Mitch Trubisky anyway. Let me get this image off the screen. I don't know how to do it. Shall we replace it? Sure. For the sake of this, right? I'm going to replace the brand of my own podcast. I'm going to put it down here. Somehow. Do you know what? It's scrappy, but it's there. At least you can see it while we're having this conversation. And see, look, you don't get this on ESPN, right? This is some top quality editing right here. It's gone. It's all gone wrong. I might have to leave this, guys. Right, we're going to sack the schedule off. I'm very sorry. I tried my best. Right, 7-9, 2-2, 7. Yeah, right, 7-9, 7-9. I see 7-9. You can argue you might get a bit more out of it. Josh, thing is, but this is the thing though. Back to Carlos's point, who raised a very good one with Trubisky and Allen. Okay, it's all very well and good having a game against Mitchell Trubisky if your offense can score points against a Chicago defense and a Bills defense, who are both very, very, very good and very dangerous and put pressure on the quarterback, where the offensive line is playing terrible, who have good secondaries, who have dangerous safeties in Amos, in Poyer, in Hyde. Like, there are players all across the board who will sting the Eagles here. He will absolutely sting them. And it's not so much, can the Eagles beat Mitch Trubisky? It's, can the Eagles beat the Eagles? That's the only way it's going to happen. So, like, even if you go 4-0 in that division, that's 7-9. That's still 7-9. So you're not looking at playoffs. And the season at 7-9 isn't acceptable for this team. And if you put the whole thing on Deshaun Jackson's missed time, then why wasn't there more receiver depth behind him? Why hasn't Arcega-Whiteside played? Why isn't Hollins doing anything? And if this took 2 to 3 weeks and you're noticing a pattern, why haven't you gone out and acquired someone? Why wasn't Shelton Gibson a deep threat? Why wasn't Bryce Treggs a deep threat? Why are you not developing this And that's what it also comes down to, for me. Right? That if you're going to put it on Deshaun Jackson, where is the rest of this coming from? Because Carson Wentz has been without a wide receiver 2 the whole of his career. Year 1, he had Dorial Green-Beckham for the starters. Shout out to Alex Conway. I see you. Thank you for subscribing. 2016, that he went out. Yes, it was DGB and Bryce Treggs, a mix of those two. 2017, Torrey Smith, who said in his own words, okay, that he had the worst stretch of his career at a point. There was a 4-game stretch, it was the worst of his career. Got out at the right time, was great in the playoffs. Before that, who knows, right? So then you get to 2018, Mike Wallace isn't there. Wentz hasn't had a deep threat. So we can't say, the offense is missing a deep threat, the offense is missing that speed. It's been missing it for 3 years. You can't put that on Deshaun Jackson not being there. And if you are, blame it on the coaching staff or the front office for not either developing the talent to be a backup or to go and acquire one. That has to be a concern. Absolutely has to be. And that's what Tom says. Was it reliant on a 32-year-old injury-prone receiver? It can't be. There is no way that people are looking at this and saying, the Eagles' offense is stinking because there's nothing there. There's no Deshaun. It's no Deshaun Jackson. That's what it is. No Deshaun Jackson. Has to be it. Because they look what good against the Redskins defense, who played on a slip and slide today and still ended up almost being owned by the 49ers. It's just weird. I do not understand. And I'm sorry for getting angry. I always try. I got a criticism recently in a comment saying that I'm too professional, right? So, I try to be as unbiased as I can. Every week I do this. Every stream, every game, every article, every podcast. I try and be unbiased. But this is so poignant where, the take, it's not even a hot take. It's just fact. All right, you've got to call it into question. And this isn't from a fan. This isn't from media. This is just from someone that is looking at what is going on with this Eagles team and like trying to make sense of it. Because if I can't, I don't know, like who else? I mean, I'm blessed enough to do this for a living now, right? Well, my day 9 till 5 is looking at the Eagles, watching Eagles tape, giving you Eagles film room, talking about the Eagles. So if I can't figure it out, like, God forbid someone else is gonna. And I don't get it. It's easy to look at Frank Reich, I think for sure. Jay Willie, you can easily see that. Look at what Amari's done for Dak. Yeah, I would say. I mean, the Amari trade is one of those wild cards, isn't it? Where I don't think anybody saw it going that well, like when it was happening. And I think Robbie Anderson would have been good. So, okay, so just looking, I'm trying to give away this hoodie. I'm really trying to give away this hoodie. So we're at 52 likes. If we can get it to 70, I'll meet you halfway. 70 likes on this stream, I'll give away a Philly Sports Network hoodie. Do I have a picture of one to show you? I don't know, but I can try. So, you know, we're going all that. You already know we're like ESPN here. I need a break because otherwise I'm going to cry myself to sleep with stress, which isn't good for anyone. Do I have a... I don't know. I'm trying to find a screenshot. I'm not sure if I have one. Where's my documents folder? There must be one here somewhere. I swear I took one for Twitter the other day. You can see I'm really trying to improvise here, can't you? It's not gone well. Yeah, sorry guys. I don't think I've got one. There's links below the video anyway. But it's a nice hoodie. It says PSL on the back of it. Geordie thought a Jenny person on it. Oh no, don't be mean to Geordie. Geordie's not. I think okay. So David, I know the big point about this channel is we just want to educate everyone. All right, and I know Geordie's like one of the younger fans here, so it's just a case of learning. Like I mean, there's a time I didn't know anything about the Eagles or football, and I still probably get clowned a lot on a lot of the things I say. But I think that yeah, we all try and help each other out. We're all friends, and so if there's something you disagree with, just no. We're all best friends here. We're all best friends. Let's have a look. So I'm trying to see what you guys are saying because a lot of people said I'm fired up, which is true. Michelle says, comment on our stinky linebackers. I think I've already ranted about them so much where I don't think that the problem's even the linebackers though, because if we came into this game expecting a converted safety, okay, to come down as a linebacker and bulk up 30 pounds in 2 years and suddenly be the starting Mike when Branham's out. Like, listen, I put a video out, a film room out, breaking down Nate, see I'm getting annoyed now, whatever he's called, alright, saying that he's improving. And he is. But he's still fundamentally flawed. Like, I tried to get something from that game that gave a bit of hope and a bit of optimism. And for me, Gary was that guy, right? Now, but if you go into a game where you put Gary out, you put TJ Edwards, who's an undrafted free agent, and I know Thomas loves him, I know, but he wasn't that great. He was good. He played garbage time snaps. He played his first snap last week came with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, right? This week he played the whole game. Camu Gugia-Hill, special teams leader, has flashed a lot on defense. I'm a big Camu guy. This wasn't his best game. But if you go into this cutting Zach Brown, knowing Bradham's down, you don't add anyone. It's on the front office. It has to be on the front office. Let's have a look what you guys are saying. I'd love to do a debate stream, Liam. Discuss the Eagles. Let me know. It's something I would love to work out how to get people on. I think that would be. It's definitely a step we're looking into because it blows my mind that it's nearly 1 a.m. where you are, and we've got 90 of you here talking Eagles. So yeah, like I would love to work out how to get a few of you on every week and like have a discussion and debate, like a proper post-game show. That's in the works. Like I'm actively looking for that this week. So hold that thought. Eagles haven't been the same. I think that's the biggest thing I'm seeing there, Dwayne. I hope I pronounced your name right. I'm sorry if I haven't. It's 6 a.m. Forgive me. There is a lot of, I think, pining after Frank Reich, seeing what he's doing with Jacoby Brissett and seeing what he's doing with that Colts team in a situation where they shouldn't be doing anything. Like, they shouldn't be doing the work they're doing and succeeding against teams like Houston. So yeah, there's naturally you're going to pine after him. And Reich was always destined to go out and be that head coach once more. And I think he was great with the Eagles, absolutely great. But there's so many like arguments to this. So like we don't know that if with Reich back, we're suddenly going to get production out of Matt Collins or Nelson Aguilar is going to catch that ball, or we're going to see Zach Ertz targeted in a half before. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It's bizarre. You can go for it from so many different things. The one thing that to me stands out though is development of talent. It has to. Because I think the beauty of it is, right, that in 2017, when this whole window started theoretically, is that you come into it and you buy these Band-Aid free agents, okay? Right? Stay with this might be I might be onto the biggest brainwave I've ever had, or at least one of them. So please stay with my Mac chargers just flew out. Give me a sec. Oh, I need to get a haircut tomorrow. Right. So 2017, this all starts. You get Patrick Robinson, you get LeGarrette Blount, they bring in Nigel Bradham to begin with, Jay Ajayi, you go out, you make all these amazing moves, alright? The idea when you do that is that you get short-term rentals who are proven talent, right? And then you draft behind them. So behind Ajayi, you bring in a running back. So behind Patrick Robinson, you bring in Avonte Maddox or Sidney Jones. And you let that talent grow to a point where when that free agent is not needed or his play starts to decline, you've got the next talent there. That's what building through the draft is. You buy talent, you develop it, and the talent then takes the roles of that starter. The issue we've got, if you've not figured it out by now, is that that talent has not developed or is injured. Okay? Last 3 years, I mean, Derek Barnett has not been... I mean, he got a sack tonight. That's his third of the year through 7 games. It's not great. Not great. The thing is, I like Barnett. I really do like Barnett. But not great. Outside of Carson Wentz, who is the one pick that you cannot get wrong. If you trade from where they did up twice into the first round to take Carson Wentz at number 2, right? And you miss... you're fired. So Carson Wentz, just because Carson Wentz is a franchise quarterback now earning $128 million, it doesn't mean that that's a great job by the Eagles. That's doing your job. That's getting a franchise quarterback. Right? Like, there are questions now about Chicago's front office because of Mitch Trubisky. That's the difference. But when you then go outside of Carson Wentz, who else on this team has done anything since 2016 as a draftee? Wendell Smallwood, gone. Shelton Gibson, gone. Matt Collins, not great. Rasul Douglas may be the only one who is a backup as a former third-round pick, which is what a backup should be at this point in his career. He's on course despite the Eagles trying to derail him the whole time. Right? Outside of that, even in year 1 now, Miles Sanders is a vertical threat now, apparently, because he's running the ball is inconsistent. JJ Arcega-Whiteside isn't there. Derek Barnett has been lackluster. They're not drafting or adding any linebackers. Avonte Maddox was great as a rookie, struggled this year. Sidney Jones, people are debating bust already. Dallas Goedert may be the only one, as JJ points out, that is doing alright. But even now, he's been underutilised. They've got 2 tight ends on the roster, for Christ's sake. They've only got 2. So they've got 4 on ones being benched and can't get minutes. Like, these are being put in a position to produce. So, like, there's so much where I don't think it's drafting. Because if you're looking since 2016, the talent that's been drafted, like, you're going to take a flyer on a Shelton Gibson or a flyer on a Wendell Smallwood. Like, that's the nature of the draft. You're not expecting to hit on guys in the 4th and 5th round. Because for every pick that you miss in the 5th round, 30 other teams do the same, and there's 1 mile on Mac. For every time you miss in the 3rd round, and you miss, like, there's 1 team, and they get a great play. It just happens. That's the way it works. That's the draft. It is just an absolute mess. And then every team that doesn't hit will look back and go, oh, right, well, that team got that player. That's good. And that's the way it is. But I think the problem is the talent is coming in. Because if you're Sidney Jones or Avonte or whoever you want to apply this to, Matt Collins would be great right now. If you come in, if you're a pick in the draft, if you're selected in the NFL draft, the elite of the elite, you're drafted by an NFL team, you're guaranteed a 4-year salary, you're in a position to develop. You're there because you have the talent to play in the NFL. And if you didn't take him, some other team would. You're there for that reason. So you have the talent. But I said on Twitter to some guy, I was like, if if I give you all the ingredients of a cake and you piss on the ingredients before you make it, whose fault is it that the cake tastes bad? Is it the ingredients? I don't think it's drafting. It's probably a mix. There are probably players that shouldn't have been drafted, like a Wendell Smallwood, but you've got to argue. Jumps in development. Who has developed, and what have you noticed from players drafted by the Eagles? What has, even Rasul Douglas, what's changed other than the fact he can now tackle? Jalen Mills. Vita, I'd argue, has been a great value pick. Sayamalo. It's really weird. I don't think it's drafting. I think it's to do with development. But that's just a take for another day for sure. Right, we're 50 minutes in. We've still got 96 of you. I said we'll do a hoodie at 70. We're now on 63. So if 7 more of you watching this who've not said a word yet can come into this stream and leave a like, I'll give away a Philly Sports Network hoodie. Alright, that's the deal. I'm holding myself to that. That's the deal we're going with today. Dillard wasn't ready. Do you know, I don't know about that one. I mean, I think the thing with Andre Dillard is that he was kind of drafted as a project tackle, right? Like, he was drafted with that in mind. He's got the perfect athletic frame. He's got the build. He's got the instincts. It's just the hand placement, really, and that can be coached. So it's like they took him over a Titus Howard because the ceiling was higher and there's less work to do, but he wasn't going to come in and be a day one starter. So I don't know. I don't view this as coming in and being, oh, he's disappointed. Like, he was never expected to come in as a rookie. It's sort of like you look at Carson Wentz's rookie season. He was never meant to be on the field as a rookie. Wentz was meant to learn behind Sam Bradford. So it's one of those where you've got to let that go. Like, I think Dillard for now is exempt from that discussion just because of, you know, the reality. He's only been on the team for a few months. But given the fact that his experience, which is what, 1 game against Everson Griffin, doing all right. Like, it could be a lot worse. Now, someone mentioned Clayton Thorson, and I don't want to pull the song out, but if I have to pull the song out, I will. Have I got it here? Oh, I do. I do have the song. Oh, okay, right. Here's the thing. I'm going to make you a deal. I'm going to up the ante because I'm raging. You're all raging. You're all angry. All right, we're on 69 likes, okay? I'm going to up it in that if we don't get to 80 likes by 1 a.m., I will play the Clayton Thorson song. So if you haven't liked it yet and you hate the Clayton Dawson song, like it. That's it. You got 5 minutes. And if we don't do it, Clayton Dawson song comes on. Please. Let's have a look. What else have we got? Oh no, Duck Win is not happy about that. So I just had to start something a little bit fun. The team's not coached well, says Andre. Alex Conway said Dillard will take some time, but definitely wasn't the reason. Yeah. I mean, Lane Johnson got bullied for the sake of it. I love the mix of the Clayton Dawson song. I absolutely love it. Let's see. I want to start. What other takes have you guys got? Is there anything that I haven't addressed yet that you think needs addressing or wants talking about? Because I know it's been 54 minutes of me screaming at you at this point. So there's got to be something I've missed that I haven't started on. But I love how Doug gets annoyed. It's my favourite. I love it. Like, the Clayton Dawson song is so polarising. We've got to 70. Right. I can't remember what I said. Was it 80 I said or 70? It was 80, wasn't it? Yeah. You got 4 minutes, 9 likes in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Oh, the Clayton Dawson song comes on. We've got to hang it on. We've got to give you guys something because right now everyone's emotional, everyone's upset. Jersey says Trade's not going to fix his team, and I agree. Jacques and Hagar, who I know is a regular here, so thank you for tuning in. What do I make of lack of corner production, and can Cravon and Avonte turn it around? I think that may have been why they didn't go out and trade for Ramsey. I mean, if you're bearing in mind, okay, right. Here's another angle to the Jalen Ramsey thing, which I know I don't want to harp on about it too much, but if in week 1, right, your starters were Jalen Mills and Ronald Darby, without this season happening, would you go in and say, hey, trade for a Ramsey, trade for a corner? Because if you're trading it at week 1, right, that's a problem. That is a massive problem. If you're having to trade in week 1, that's a problem. So when you get to week 5 and your backups are being ruined, it's not trade for Ramsey because that should have been the case in the middle of the offseason. There's no point. Like, you're in week 8 now, coming into it, where you're going to have Maddox and Cravon coming back. Mills didn't look that bad tonight, and Darby, he's coming back. I don't want him to, not in a horrible way, but he's back. I don't want him to play. I want him to be healthy, obviously. I'm not sadistic. We got 74. Oh, we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes for 6 likes. The Clayton Dawson song comes on. But yeah, I don't think the lack of cornerback production is on the players. I genuinely feel it's a scheme. Like, the film rooms that I've done, like going through the way the offenses do the same stuff every week, which is take advantage of an 8-man box, force the safety into a split-second decision, and just run like Yankee concepts, which is going to have like a corner route going over the middle, and then something underneath where that safety's going to bite down, and your corner's exposed. Like, Rasul Douglas isn't a quick corner. You can make a case where if it was Ronald Darby and all those post routes where Rasul Douglas has been beaten, that it was it wouldn't have happened with Ronald Darby, because Ronald Darby's a much quicker cornerback, and that's fine. You can have that opinion, but the fact is, it's still a busted play. If Ronald Darby can save a busted play, then fine. But there are still then weaknesses underneath. So I think it doesn't matter who comes back. There are still problems. There are still problems here with the secondary. So let's refresh again. We've got under 60 seconds until the Clayton Dawson doomsday. We haven't got a lie. People want Dawson. People want the Clayton Dawson song. And the second that clock strikes, the Clayton Dawson song will be played, and I'll give away a hoodie. Alright? That's the way it's going to go. So, you've got, unless we refresh and there's 6 likes, Clayton Dawson song's coming out. It's happening. It's going to happen. I don't know why I do this to you. I do feel kind of bad, because I know it's such a polarising song. But I also, we need a bit of a mood lift. And here it is. It's officially 1 a.m. The like target has not been met. And as your punishment, you would now be doomed with the Clayton Dawson song. I'll see you on the other side.
Clayton Dawson, da 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 da. Clayton Dawson, da 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 da. Clayton Dawson, da 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 da. Clayton Dawson, da 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 da. Clayton Dawson.
Sorry about that. Sorry. My bad. Sorry. Hey, we actually lost so many viewers then. That's amazing. Sorry, my bad. I know we've got a few things to get to here, but we have to give away a hoodie. I promised you I would. You've been very loyal today, and you've put up with me shouting. So what we're going to do, I will give you basically 2 minutes to put a message in the chat. After 2 minutes, I'm just going to scroll up and down a bunch. The cursor's going to land on a random name. Whoever it lands on is going to get a hoodie. That's the fairest way to do it, all right? So, if you've not yet messaged a chat, this is your time to join this community, all right? Get yourself involved. Have a bit of fun. Don't get yourself banned, but, just put the message in the chat. That song is a banger. I try my best. This is what we're missing. But yeah, just get your messages in the chat, and by 1:04, I'll scroll up and pick myself a winner. But in the meantime, I'll go through the rest of your questions. I know Doug's so excited for the hoodie. Can't wait for this dumb Derby experiment to be over. You're not the only one. Jim Schwartz will live and die by Mills and Bradham. I don't know about Bradham. I mean, Bradham's been great for the last couple of years. I don't know what's going on this year. Maybe it's injury or not. We need a defensive tackle depth is always intriguing, considering how much stock they put into it this offseason to get it rebranded and restocked, so to speak. Where they now still are back to square one, which is Fletcher Cox and Akeem Spence. That's it now. Ridgway's gone. Jackson's gone. Jernigan could be coming back. That could be happening. But right, get yourselves some messages in there. We've got a couple minutes left. So if you're not getting your messages in, obviously the more messages you have, the more chance you've got. Give me hoodie, says Alex, and I say adapt ye scheme to Jim Schwartz in response. Gray wasn't good at play calling. It's a sign we need to trade for. Clayton Dawson was on the Cowboys. What have I done? Oh no! I've just realised. I just realised. I'm very sorry. I've let you all down. I didn't mean to rub salt in the wound. That was not my intention whatsoever. I am so sorry. Antoine says he's pissed. I completely agree. I think we all here now, we're all having a little vent. I'll take an aging guy, but we need help. Yeah, okay, right, so it's hoodie time. Right, Okay, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to scroll up and down. Whoever it lands on, right, is going to get themselves a hoodie. Is it spinning? Oh, it's not spinning, sorry. It's spinning now, right. Who's it going to land on? It's on Paintballaholic? Paintballaholic, who says he's in Nebraska. He needs one for the winter. You've got one. So, if you can, message me on Twitter, at Liam Jenkins PSN. I'll sort one out for you. You might have to wait a couple of days. We'll wait for my money to go in first, but I'll get you sorted this week, alright? So, big congrats to you. I might give away another one later, depending how I feel. Paintballaholic, congratulations on getting yourself a hoodie. We'll get more. We always give away hoodies. I mean, I can't have a stream without giving stuff away because I get... Stop shouting hoodie at me! Oh my god. Okay. Jesus Christ, I just looked at the chat and it's a stream, everyone just shouting hoodie. Oh, I love it. Brilliant. How do you Eagles fans like Orlando Scandrick? Well, first of all, Chris, if you're not an Eagles fan, thanks for tuning in. I know this is probably a bit of a weird stream for you. Are you a Cowboys fan by any chance? Because you started laughing. I was about to answer your question. If it's sarcastically, I quite like him because he was great against the New York Jets, had a strip 6, which is officially the sauciest play in football, and almost broke up a pass for a pick today. Other than that, I think he played a bit injured, but yeah, we'll see. He doesn't have Twitter? What do you mean he doesn't have Twitter? Oh, right, okay. If he doesn't have Twitter, email me, phillysportsnetwork@gmail.com. That would be your best bet. So Philly Sports Network is the name of the channel, @gmail.com. Give me something to know I know it's you in a way. I don't know. Something, or like send me a picture of like you logged into your YouTube account just so I know it's not someone trying to phone you as well wearing into a hoodie because I know everyone wants the Philadelphia Sports Network hoodies. Signed Trotter. Do you mean Jeremiah Trotter? Orlando Scandrick played horrible. Oh, he's a football fan. Fair play, Chris. I appreciate the unbiased. Yeah, Scandrick, I mean, he had a couple alright plays. He wasn't perfect by any means. Eagles need to bring back a lot of people. I mean, do you know what the one thing that stings is LJ Fort playing well. Now I'm the only one holding down the LJ Fort because it's just me on my own. And then you've got Jordan Hicks picking off a pass for the Cardinals. That was their first interception of the year. That happened today. That was great. So it's really weird. I mean, give Deuce a chance. I think giving Deuce Staley will be the next, evolution for sure. But he's already helping coordinate the run game. It's just weird because you don't know. It's odd that the one thing I like with Juice, and I know we spoke massively about development recently, okay, is that Wendell Smallwood, although he didn't go exactly from, 0 to 1,000 to become an elite running back, there was that one offseason, I think it was 2017 maybe, where he came in and literally got older Wendell Smallwood and basically was like, right, you've got to run harder. You're too flamboyant, you're bouncing around, you're too easy to bring down, you're coughing the ball up. It was like, lower your pad level, drive into contact. And that preseason, for the games he was healthy, Smallwood ran like a man possessed, in training camp as well. He really, really did. And that's development. That's coaching. That's getting something different out of a player. I like that. I think the whole running back room can be exempt from this. Even look at Miles Sanders. In pass protection. Miles Sanders in pass pro has been excellent. Now, as a running back, fair play, he's got some work to do. But as pass pro and as a receiver, he's been doing great. Juice Staley, as a developmental coach who gets the best out of his players and seemingly knows what they need to do to get better, fair. Geordie Sen says stick to soccer in a 2019 stream. I get that every day, mate. People say stick to soccer every single day of my life. That's just par of the course. I mean, that's not bad. That's, tip of the iceberg. Now, I find that quite funny when people say it. It's like there it is. It's like, I don't know. It's funny, isn't it? Jesse says Todd Pinkston, name from the past. Oh, throwback. Chris, I don't think it matters who wins the NFC East. The division winner is terrible, and the winner will the best the winner accomplish. Well, it's all good that we've got optimistic people like Chris in the stream, isn't it? That's good. Although I agree. So, not being mean about him, I appreciate that he's coming in and said hello. Paintball Halleck has subscribed on YouTube, as he should. Bloody coming in and nicking one of our readies. He should be. I'm joking. Customer service has subscribed. Not my customer service, just someone called customer service. Alex Conway has subscribed. Mike O has subscribed. I'm giving you guys all the shout outs if you subscribe in here. Football's better. Oh, dude, I agree, Tom. Football's better than soccer. But my love for Charlton Athletic may never be surpassed. And that's just because it's part of who I am, It's part of who I am. I would love to one day, talking of soccer though, real quick. Shout out to the Philadelphia Union for winning in overtime, essentially, in a playoff game. First win in the playoffs in franchise history. They've been around for 10 years. Fair play to them. Big win. Big up the Union. Well done, boys. Imagine if we gave Juice a talented RB. I think he's got one. at this point. Like, you've got Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders. It's about as talented as you're going to get. Especially in the short term. Josh McCown, I'd love that. I think he's been around long enough. He'd have to start as a QB coach to begin with and work his way up. But I do definitely agree with that. Do you think we can get Tony Romo's out? Nah, Tony Romo loves broadcasting. You can hear it in his voice. Like, that guy brings so much to the table. And as someone that did broadcasting, but for motorsports, so like sports car racing, like before PSN, before PSN, I used to work in retail and do motorsport commentary. And then it became work in retail and run PSN for 5 years, and then it just became PSN. So back, Emo Liam, when he was like 19 years old, we're talking over cars. Like, I love broadcasting and podcasting, and I think that's where my love for videos come from, right? And this interaction with you guys. But hearing the passion in his voice, it's genuine. Like, I relate to it so much, and you don't get it enough from broadcasters nowadays who are so dead and so, like, monotonous and boring. Like, having Tony Romo's insight, ex-Cowboy or not, like, I loved him in terms of, like, I loved it as a player is far-fetched, but, like, he's a likeable guy. Like, he's not a dickhead, to say the least. Like, you can do a lot worse than Tony Romo, and as a broadcaster, excellent. Really, really excellent. Retail's where I got the bad references from. Absolutely, they shape everything I do. And now if we fire Graham promote Josh McCown, I would be on par with that. Like, I gave Mike Groh a pass last year, and I want to touch on that because before we get to an end of this stream, I know that we're now like, we're overdue. Like, we've been here an hour, like 7 minutes. You've got an extra 7 minutes here. But going back to, I had a point then as well. I gave Mike Groh a pass. So Mike Groh in 2017, okay, the most important relationship on a football team to me is a quarterback and an offensive coordinator. Okay, that's a headset communication. It's knowing everything about each other. Groh comes into a team where Carson Wentz is injured and the offense is still built around Nick Foles. Not in a personnel sense or a selfish sense, in a sense that it's simplified, it's condensed, it's the Nick Foles show. The receivers, since week 14 of that year, have been playing with Nick Foles, getting used to Nick Foles, the timing of Foles, the rhythm of Foles, everything to do with Nicky Six, right? Then you have the Olshon injury, you get a couple of others, you get to week 3, and you finally get Carson Wentz back, and then he's not 100%, and Olshon's not there, and then you go and trade for Golden Tate, who is naturally hard to implement because you've got 3 slot receivers as it is. That is a problem. Like, I'm not putting that on Groh at all, and I can understand the teething problems. This year, no excuse. No excuse at all. This is ridiculous now. Like, we gave him, I think, benefit of the doubt. I was one of the few that genuinely did. Everyone else was calling for him after 1 year. I'm starting to get a bit wind now, sorry. I really wasn't. I was like, do you know what? Benefit of the doubt. I don't think it's all on him. I think he's had a very tough hand to be dealt. And now we're seeing the repercussions of that, where year 2, it's the same old story. I don't know what's going on. Very, very weird. I'm not a big fan of it at all. So, I think we can definitely start making the case for both coordinators to be changed. But there's got to be something, almost like a Lurie type intervention, right? Where I have like the 53 angry men and that sort of thing. So you know it's me. My email is paintballholic@yahoo. Dude, of course I will. I will make a copy and paste of that now in my notepad somewhere. Right beneath where it says, run it on 3rd and 4 with Sanders from own 15 against an 8-man box. That's how special you are, alright? So there you go. Also, we're at 82 likes. If we could get to 100 likes, that would be incredible. I think that might be a record for a live stream. I don't know, but I think we're pushing it a bit because we're going to have to, go to bed soon. Don't want to keep you all up too late. I know it's going to be Monday morning and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? This whole situation. Because now, I don't know what I write about tomorrow morning. I have to wake up and go, right, I need an article for 9 to 11, about 1 to 3, and then I go and record This Week in Philadelphia. But the last bit's easy. Recording Twips is my favourite thing I do. If you're new around it and you're not sure what Twips is, imagine this stream, but it's a lot more sarcastic, a lot more sassy, and it does the whole Philadelphia sports. Jersey, I beg you, sorry, my bad. Jersey, thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's super late. It means the world to me that you would take that sort of time out of your evening to watch. So thank you. Have a good night's sleep, and hopefully you wake up and this is all a nightmare, but we can't make promises. But yeah, so like for me, I've got to work out now, what do I write about? Do I go linebackers? Do I go secondary? Do I go offense? Do I go coaches? It's going to be a nightmare. So that's all part of the fun though. That's why I love... I love what I do. It's a real blessing to do this. But I'm finding... I think it's almost like what sucks the most, isn't it? It's like what part has annoyed me the most to talk about in an article for an hour. That's not a fun conversation to have. It's been 3.5 hours, Geordie! Come on, that's insane! You have to get yourself a Red Bull tomorrow. I'll need like several at this point. Yeah, I mean, the LA Rams offer, for context, for Jalen Ramsey was like more than theoretically what Khalil Mack was worth. So it's like, it's a big haul. It's a big haul. And if you're coming through to develop talent and you can't develop talent, now you're ripping away the chance to even change that. The Eagles aren't in a win now mode, because now you're going to have... I mean, if you think of this as well, the whole secondary, that safeties included, still count for less against the cap than Jalen Ramsey's contract right now. That's bad. That's really, really bad. When am I going to break down the game film, Emmanuel? The game film comes out on a Tuesday. So, for most people it's a Monday. For me, because I'm in England, it's Tuesday, which is a pain in the ass. But hopefully... it depends on the film room. If it's a simple one, it'll be Tuesday evening, you'll get a video. If it's a more complex one, like this week's took about 8 hours to make, I think, doing all the effects and stuff. So like that would be a Wednesday. But there's always content. Like from me, I guarantee every week you'll get daily uploads apart from a Saturday normally, like where I kind of try and take a day off. What I mean is I'll watch Charlton in the morning and then play a bit of FIFA and then work. And then there's like 2 or 3 articles a day from me, and we've got like a team of 30 writers that all write articles as well. So it's basically a grind. Like there'll always be content, whether it's here, whether it's phillysportsnetwork.com. We've got 3 people that break down film. I'm the only one that does it on YouTube. So yeah, I'd say if you're not checking out phillysportsnetwork.com daily, then definitely go over. And I know I'm biased because it's my website, but like I think our coverage is definitely diverse and it brings something new, and like we avoid the BS. Like I made sure our team didn't put articles out on the either the anonymous source thing, which is just driving clicks. Like we don't need them. I'd rather just have genuine wholesome content. Like there's no point chasing clicks. If you're only chasing clicks, if you're chasing money. Like I'm not chasing money. I'm blessed to do this for a living. I'm getting enough to be comfortable. I don't need to chase that. So I'm not going to spam you with content that's going to annoy you. That's why I didn't write on, the Eagles did submit an offer for Ramsey, but it wasn't enough, lol. Like, why would I put that out? There's no benefit to anyone. So, I don't know, one of them, innit? Thanks for the stream, didn't it? Oh, Alex, dude, that's amazing, man. I hope this has helped in some way. I'll play the Clayton Dawson song one more time if it helped. But yeah, genuinely, thank you for coming in, man. It really does mean a lot. What I'll do then is I'll do 15 minutes worth of Q&A, essentially, because I think we've kind of exhausted the initial reaction for the game. And we'll cut it at 1:30, I say roughly, like we'll see. So if you've got questions, anything you want to know, and if you're new around here and you've never met me, you're going, why is a British kid talking about the Eagles? This is the one time I'll reply to it and not give you a big story. I'll just do the full one because I have to say it a lot. But yeah, anything you guys want to know, if you're new, if you're not subscribed yet, do subscribe. That'd be beautiful if you could. That'd be absolutely amazing. And thank you, again, having 82 of you in at 1 in the morning. It's 6 a.m. for me, but 1 in the morning would be incredible. Slaughter them all. That's what this week in Philly Sports. Dude, I'm so excited for tomorrow. I'm so excited. This week in Philadelphia Sports tomorrow might be the most rampant yet. Jack and Hiccup. Oh, Jack and dude, I'm going to cry. Thank you. That's music to my ears. I legit get teary over that because... spent 5 years building it up, and to hear that is that's amazing. I'm really glad that we have that kind of place for you. That's honestly so touching. Tom says, why is everyone so obsessed with trading with someone? I don't know. But there's always that thing though, right? It happened with Deshaun Jackson, LaShawn McCoy, where fans would be constantly longing after one of them. The second anything ever came up about what the other, it'd be Twitter wars no end until they came back. I think it's out of desperation. It's almost that Madden mentality of if you're losing in Madden, you trade for someone, you get better. I just think the problems are more rooted than that. It's not a case of, oh my god, the season's going to die, shit, trade for Jalen Ramsey and we're going to be fine. They wouldn't be. They wouldn't be. I genuinely, I wouldn't believe. No, it wouldn't happen. I don't think it would go well at all. So that would be my yeah, I don't know. Let's have a look. Budge and secondary, isn't it cheap? Yeah, I agree with that one. Why is the PSN crew funny on Twitter? Because, I mean, we try and be different. Like, I think with sports media now, it's very suited and booted. It's very beat writer. Everyone's down the middle, calling what they see, fine. But you lose that connection. And, like, for me, knowing that I'm my own boss, like, I don't have to answer to someone. If I want to go and tell a joke, I want to be funny. Like, what's the point in giving you the same analysis as everyone else? There's no fun in it for you. You're not getting anything from it. So for me, like, I want to go beyond and extra and push and make you laugh. And on nights like this, where it is so frustrating and upsetting and sad, to give you something to laugh at, like the Thorson song, or a stream you can vent with me. And, like, I said this to our writers, like, you don't see ESPN or other major Eagles blogs or other Philly outlets doing these streams because I don't know, like, it's like a generational divide. And for me, like, I would, instead of giving you content from a pedestal and being like, right, there's an article, read it, there's a video, watch it, there's a podcast, listen. Like, I'd rather get in a live stream and talk to you and have a community and be part of this. And that's where PSN season came from, like the PSN SZN, because, like, it's everyone. And this rise for PSN has gone from, like, 0 to 1,000, like, overnight for me. And it's like, having done it 5 years and gone from atrocious, like, bullying and people giving up on you and that sort of thing, to get it to here, like, I want everyone to be on that journey and to feel that rise and to feel like, hey, I want to come at, and I don't know, hey, I want to be an actor and I'm going to push for this because it's PSN season and they're doing it and so can I. Like, I want that. That's what this is all about, this community is all about. So we always try and be funny on Twitter. And interact with all of you and chat and have these little live streams because it's fun. What else have we got? What are your thoughts on Jordan Mailata? Is he going to cut it? It's really hard because we've only seen him in 2 preseasons. And the first preseason, I think we were all so bewildered that a man of that size, that athleticism, who had never played the sport before, looked borderline serviceable, that we all got excited. And then this year was that reaffirmation with, okay, he is still learning the sport. He can't get away with just being this massive behemoth who's freakishly athletic. He's got to develop technique. So we go from year 1 to year 2 where you've got the realization. We're not realistically... Oh my God. Oh, that scared me. Oh my God, the HomePod. If someone can record... Jesus Christ. Oh, my HomePod just went off thinking I said, hey Siri, that's a top 10... No, it's done it again. I'm going to turn it off in a minute. That scared the life out of me. Oh my word. Basically, yeah, it comes down to year 3 and how far he comes along and whether or not he can overcome that fundamental deficit. My God. Oh, LJ After Dark is a problem. Should the Eagles sell some assets for draft picks before the trade deadline, says David Thorne. I don't know, because people point to, like, Nelson Aguilar, but who else is producing at wide receiver? And I know Aggie isn't exactly setting the bar high here, but he's doing it enough. Right? Like, I mean, I'll say, okay, that's a bit of an over-exaggeration, but he's at least producing, unlike Matt Collins or Arthega-Whiteside. And if you take Aguilar out and Deshaun Jackson can't get better, or can't get healthy, or can't get on the field, you've got Alshon Jeffrey, 2 tight ends, because you haven't got a third one, Matt Collins, who does nothing, and Arthega-Whiteside, who's done nothing. So there's no point. If the season's doomed, you don't offload that now. You took on that $9 million cap hit for a reason, stick it through. The only asset, David, I think they could get away with will be Rasul Douglas, because he's been left out in the cold since day 1. Come in, rookie, Ronald Darby goes down in week 1, plays 8 games, gets better, benched when Darby comes back. 2018, they hired Dexter McDougal before giving Rasul Douglas a shot. And 2019, having been a starter all through training camp, all through the regular season, because the other guys can't stay healthy, he gets benched again. If I'm Rasul Douglas, I'm like, get me out of here. Like, get me to a team that's going to appreciate me. Get me to a team where I can start and show what I can do in a scheme where I'm not chained down by. If you're going to trade for a cornerback, put Rasul Douglas in the deal. Say, hey, we'll take your better corner. You can have our developmental one. That would be the way I look at it. Who do you think is available for DC in the offseason, says Duck Nguyen. I don't know, because it can all change so quick. It can all change so fast. Let's have it. Yeah, it's one of them weird ones. Like, you genuinely don't know. Like, I mean, you've got someone saying there, do we iron Mike Singletary? coordinators, like a franchise can go up and down so fast. You've got college coaches that will surge up. You've got other ones that will come down. Like, it's not really worth speculating about until you hit the off-season and until they start that. Because that's the Rooney rule anyway, which is talking to someone in-house. And if they go defensive coordinator, I'm not being funny. If they fire Schwartz tomorrow, it's only going to go to Matt Burke, who coached the Dolphins secondary last year, which was woeful, has worked with Jim Schwartz in Detroit, plays the exact same scheme, nothing would change. Nothing would change. Stephanie Rodriguez says, and I'm going to do it in caps lock, do you know what? It's 6:23 in the morning. I'm getting tired, so I need to do some energy. I'm so embarrassed we only scored 10 points tonight! I'm the same, Steph. I'm the same. Completely the same. Absolutely embarrassing. Shoddy, abysmal, dismal, disgusting, disgraceful. However many words you want to put in, end results the same. Emmanuel, something's wrong behind closed doors. I'm telling Emmanuel that something's wrong behind his closed doors, but I mean, overall. Lane Johnson saying the players are not taking things seriously. Yeah, but you can see that though. You can see that as well in the play on field. And when Malcolm Jenkins is getting angry, where they're like fuming at other people and they're getting in quarterbacks' faces and stuff, there's a disconnect between players that are like, ugh, and there are players that are giving it all and frustrated and no one else is on that wave. And I totally agree. There is something going on. It'd be cool to be on a stream at PSN. Maybe one day, Geordie. I'm sure we'll get around to that one. Let's have a look. Dude, hey Siri, why is LJ's voice so high? Don't say that. It's lovely.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god, it's gone again. Right, someone's booted it off again. Why not running back? You can get... Yeah, a lot of people say that as well. A lot of people say that. Funny how he posted... Yeah, in it, Isaac. It's so mad. Our season's over. I don't know about that. I mean, you're looking at about 7 and 9, 8 and 8, 9 and 7 within that window. Anything outside of that is a pipe dream at the minute. Aguilar has no trade value. I agree. Brent Venables from Clemson, make it happen. He got to leverage his hands. Yeah, I'll chase up that Lane Johnson thing, but there definitely has to be a sense of urgency. Like, last Monday I put the article out on Jim Schwartz, and that one not so much broke the internet, but it popped. It went a bit viral, so hopefully I can do that again, just on whatever the hell's going on with this team. So I remember I did it before that Patriots game. Now, after that Patriots game, I said that Chip Kelly had lost the locker room in 2015. And I remember a writer came for me, like a respected and established beat writer that's covering the team for years. And he made a comment saying, people who've never stepped foot inside the Eagles locker room are saying that Chip's lost it. And then a few weeks later, he was sacked. And I was like, well, if I can see that and you can't, do your job better. Because at this time, I was 19 years old, working 2 retail jobs, writing a blog. So, yeah, if I can get an article channeling that kind of energy of, be better, essentially, what is going on, whether it's going to be harder coaching or accountability on players. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's players not being accountable. Maybe it's leaders. We underestimate, I know Jalen Mills isn't the best corner in the world, but as a leader and the intensity he brings, he's probably the most intense corner they've got. He's the guy breaking down defensive huddles. I think that could be a factor. Maybe they're missing leaders. Let's examine that way. Did they lose any leaders this offseason? If so, who? Is that the reason the linebacker corps is suddenly struggling? I think that is a very, very interesting path to go down. And I'll try and get an article up on that one tomorrow morning. JJ brings up the last interesting point we'll have to say. Well, there's probably more interesting points. It's the last one we'll debate. Says the deep ball to Aguilar. Was it me or did anyone else think Aguilar could have caught that one? Yeah, and there's a debate going on there where people either can't work out if it was a lack of effort or the ball was overthrown or whatever. I think even if the ball was overthrown, what has to happen is he's got to finish the play. Regardless of whether the ball is alright, okay, hang on. I'm going to demonstrate here with my Eagles helmet that's on my desk. Alright, I don't know if I can see my camera. Okay, so if the ball's here, right, and my hand is... Oh, this isn't going to work, is it? My hand is here, right, and I, go to catch it and I can't, you at least push and try. You don't just go, oh, here's... you do you know what I mean? You have to... I'm never doing that demonstration again. That's awful. But you know what I'm trying to say? You at least play to the whistle. You at least try. You at least go for it. Make it look. It's like Paintball Holic just said then. He pulled up. He pulled up, was play's dead. There has to be damn it. And if he'd have gone, damn it, it's oh no, he missed a pass. Instead, it's what are you doing? What are you doing? JMD2789 says Chris Long was a crucial leader. Bang on point. Well done. Very well pointed out. And obviously that defensive line now, or defensive end, has got who? Vinny Graham, that's new. Vinny Curry, Brandon Graham. There aren't many, I guess, leadery voices on there. Josh Sweat and Deshaun Hall at the minute. Great, that's going well. I think I don't know if it was effort or what, but you would have liked to see Aguilar finish the play. Now, if Aguilar was labelled in trade talks with Arizona, maybe that got in his head. We know he's had mental setbacks before when it comes to drops and that sort of thing. I could absolutely see that playing a factor. But I don't know. Carson Wentz to even get that throw off was ridiculous. To not have a receiver that can make a play on it is frankly disappointing, given the grand scheme of just about everything at this point. And that's unfortunately the sad reality of this loss, is that they've been humiliated by the Vikings, humiliated by the Cowboys, and now they go and face the Buffalo Bills. Which is, we said at the start of the season, the Buffalo game's a trap game. This was the start of this wasn't even recent. Week 1, Buffalo's a trap game. Buffalo is absolutely a trap game. It's a game they should win and not lose. And now they're being pummeled. And if Josh Allen can sniff blood in the water, you're doing something wrong. And he can. And I don't know. It's going to be an interesting week or so. But guys, we've been here 90 minutes. I can't believe there are that many of you in this stream right now. It's absolutely unbelievable. But we're going to have to call it a night, because if I don't get some sleep soon, there'll be no content tomorrow. And we need the best episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports we can get, right? So, honestly, if you're not subscribed yet and you've been around for a little while, I hope maybe this has convinced you a little bit to hit that big red button, join our community. We're lovely for the most part, and we're here every week with post-game streams. We're going to have This Week in Philadelphia Sports tomorrow. We're going to have, I just realised I was going to swear, isn't it? I'm very sorry. We're going to have Eagles Film Room Tuesday, maybe Eagles Film Room Wednesday. On Thursday, I'll figure something out, something fun. And then Friday is obviously podcast day. So, if you like the sound of that, hit subscribe. PhillySportsNetwork.com. You'll find at least one article from myself every day. We cover every Philly sports team. We've got 30 plus writers. We try and be as individual as we can. We'd love for you to just join this community. It's a lot of fun. But guys, thank you so much for joining this stream. It has been an absolute pleasure to chat up with you. I know there was a lot of anger, emotion, frustration about this loss. And to be able to vent this with you, to hopefully take some of that emotion out, just have a bit of a laugh and just be part of this community is a real blessing. So thank you. I mean, Jay, that means so much to me. To Geordie, to Duck, to James, to Brandon, to Mike, to James, to RPS Dilemma, to David. Basically everyone. I'm going to try and grab the whole chat, but I'll be here a while. But I don't think you guys realise how much you do for me in terms of I know I get soppy. It's the end of the stream and it's what I do. To Emmanuel, to Brandon, honestly, you guys are incredible. But genuinely, hey, Doug, see? Flipping the bird, that's a PSN podcast, See? He's on brand. I love that. I'm going to take a screenshot of that and send it to Chris, because that will make his night, if you don't mind. But genuinely, I don't think you guys realise how much you do for us. For me personally, it is a real grind. Managing a team, doing this, doing articles. Most beat writers are just beat writers. Most YouTubers are just YouTubers. I basically do both. It is a grind and a half. And seeing this kind of response, knowing that we're having this kind of effect, and that there is a community, and that it's so special and it's so unique, and I'm so honoured to be a part of it. And the fact that you've all let me be a part of your lives, it's crazy to me that someone views our channel or our website as their go-to, or as the number one source, and that is the most incredible feeling. And just know that everything we do as a brand, as a company, as for videos, as articles, it's all for you. There's no self-incentive. Like I said, we don't talk about the Jalen Ramsey trade that never happened. We don't talk about the anonymous sources. We just want to give you the content that you deserve, that you honestly deserve, as being the best, most passionate fans on the planet. And that's all you'll ever get from us, is 100% every single day. I sound like a football player, I know. But honestly, it just means so damn much. So from myself, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's that way. That way? There you go, that way. At Liam Jenkins PSN. At Philadelphia SN is Philly Sports Network. I will see you tomorrow for This Week in Philadelphia Sports. It'll be up around 7 o'clock in the evening. Stay tuned for that one. Subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you have a good night's sleep and that this all fades away and it turns out it was all a horrific nightmare, apart from the stream, which was obviously an amazing dream. And I will see you all again very soon. But you are the best fans on the planet. Give yourself just a pat on the back for being incredible. You really do. Without you, there is no Philly Sports Network. And we're incredibly lucky to have you. So thank you so much for being the best community on the internet, the best fan base in the world, and we're just so honoured to call you our fans. I don't want to say it in like a condescending way, but it's in our like community to have this is bigger than I could have ever dreamed. So thank you for everything. Even when it's stormy outside and the Eagles are losing and it's all gone wrong, this community always shines, and that is the best thing I could ever say. So thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Woo!